That's Dude.
And that's Dude.
Welcome to Lazyboys
night.
That was such a chill way of seeing it. And that's Dude. I
Dude.
almost felt like it's like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood or something.
I am super chill tonight.
Super chill tonight. All right, glad to hear
in
it.
that mood.
Well, we have a chill beer. This is the Blanche de Chambly from Unibroue.
Oh, we have a Quebec Brewery.
Yeah, from Chambly, Quebec. It's a white beer. In Blanche.
In Blanche.
I'm looking for the translation, but the can's all French because it's from
fun
Quebec.
fact, I haven't had this in a very, very long time. I've had it before, but always on tap.
No.
And this beer specifically was my introduction to microbrewers, craft brewers.
Oh, a little bit of nostalgia for you.
So this was the first time that I had ever tried a beer outside of the major brands.
So it's a Belgian-style wheat ale. For those who are not familiar with a Blanche, a Belgian, of course, being
Blanche
a
de
French,
Chambly, that's a nice surprise.
a French
I'm going to be curious to
country-speaking
try
country.
this out in my beer snob years. Let's
So
find out.
years later, let's see if it's as interesting as you remember from your first taste.
Let's find out.
Here's to you.
Cheers.
It's just two guys talking. There they go again and saying anything. Talking about nothing. Nothing new to say. Talking anyway. So much to review. So let's have a cold brew. A cold brew. Everybody's talking. It's not anything. No one's listening. Talking about nothing. They're all yammering. I can't hear a thing. Nothing I can do. So let's have one more brew. One more brew.
It tastes exactly as I remember.
Is it me or is it more carbonated than a standard beer? I feel like it's very fizzy.
You're right. There is a definite.
It feels like there's more fizz than your typical beer. I don't know if it's just this particular batch or if that's the way the beer is made.
Oh, look at the bubbles. In
But
it.
it
It's
feels
still
it
ongoing,
feels
like,
very
nonstop.
very
Look at
fizzy.
the bottom. Holy jeez!
Oh, yeah.
I've rarely seen this as
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
As You're right. Damn.
It's
But yeah.
pleasant. It's light. It's crisp and refreshing.
Holy jeez! Look at the bubbles in that thing.
So this is your introduction to microbrews.
Microbrewers, craft brewers. This is the very first time that somebody had told me, try this out, and I was actually in Quebec City.
It's good. It's very
I actually
good.
enjoy it as much as I did back then.
It's
a very nice beer.
but it's a very little on the fizzy side, but it's a good. It's refreshing.
It's
It's a good summer beer.
this specific beer was the first Blanche, the first white beer introduced into North America.
Really?
Yeah, before that.
There we
was
go.
no
We learned
Blanche.
something today.
Nice, eh? Yeah, very nice.
Very nice.
I'm in a chill mood, and this beer's making me even more so. This is nice. I like
Whoa. There you go. I'm glad you could get a little bit of nostalgia there today,
it.
dude.
So, thanks for joining us tonight,
We're not done yet. Come on.
and we'll see you next week.
No. What's on the agenda tonight?
We're gonna be doing a crappy
Full of
mystery.
mystery.
Yeah. That's gonna
All
happen.
right.
All right, we're good for it. Ready
All
for
right,
it?
I think it's your turn. Let me hold while you pick.
Oh, look at that.
Oh.
In previous episodes, plural, maybe, you've spoken about UFOs and UAPs. What are your views on actual aliens? What do they look like, and do you believe in them?
Wow, that's a loaded question.
Damn!
What's your views on actual aliens? What do they look like, and do you believe in them?
Damn!
You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
Well, there was an episode last year where...
Dude actually had a sighting.
Yes.
I don't remember the number of the episode. We'll write it down right now, but go check this out. Dude had an actual sighting of what does UAP stand for again?
Unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Aerial phenomenon. We're used to the UFO, unidentified flying object. Same thing. But dude saw, which was eerily similar to pictures released by classified government stuff that was declassified later.
Yeah.
Really interesting. So let's start with your view.
And oddly enough, we had, I guess that's what they're referencing to in this question, is that at the end of that episode, we mentioned the fact that if you want to hear more, and I guess it took almost a year later,
but it was lost in the bowl.
It was in the bowl. It was in
There
the
you
bowl.
go.
We don't know how long it was in the bowl for. So the question, we had debated the fact that, that would be a fun subject, and then here we are.
So do you believe they exist? What would they look like?
So I do believe they exist.
Okay.
Okay, so right out of the
Well,
gate,
you've had the experience firsthand, so...
Well, and that was the thing that we had talked about. I was, at that moment when I was looking at it, and because of the sheer amount of people claiming to have seen or have video footage of it, I was kind of on the fence about, are these just drones essentially coming from wherever, right? Out of space, from somebody else, but not necessarily having entities in them. I still believe that. I still believe the fact that we're doing the same thing right now.
We are. We send out satellites.
Yeah, and we there was one satellite where we sent out, I don't know if it was hundreds or thousands of small drones throughout the universe. A bit like it was at The Empire Strikes Back in Star Wars, where they're sending out all these drones to go visit to try to find the resistance. So you have all these crash landings on planets, and then they come out, and they're these little drones that go...
I'll do you one better. The original Star Trek The Motion Picture...
Same freaking thing.
The Voyager was actually the original Voyager satellite that had traveled for hundreds of years and was probably assimilated, presumably by the Borg, and built up into this big thing that came back.
Yeah.
Because sending actual people... the trek is too difficult and dangerous for the technology at the time, so it's just send out the technology.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm on board with that. I believe that there's a proper balance of all these different things happening at the same time. One, I believe that there's these, whatever version of drones that are actually scouring the planet and the universe and everything, that are sent out for information, like we're doing already, right? So thinking that people are way advanced of us, of course they've been doing that. They've been doing that for a long time. And there's the ancient astronaut theory where they've been visiting Earth for hundreds and thousands of years, which would also apply to these same drones. But that being said, I still believe that there's actual aliens on tour or on vacation.
You think they're among us here?
I think that there's more than one type, because we have the classic grays, right, with the big head,
yeah,
and the big almond eyes and all that,
and then the little green Martians.
There's all these different versions of people claiming that they've seen, that they've witnessed, and all that. And if you just have to look at planet Earth, how diverse we are, right? So you got to think that if you have other planets and you have, people that have been around way longer than Earth has been around. Of course, they're going through these different treks themselves, right? They're visiting, but yeah. So I'm 100% drones happening from other planets or a other planet. Alien life, yeah. I believe in alien life. I do. There's been way too many eyewitness accounts. If you start looking at older civilizations. They're civilizations that could not possibly communicate with each other, all have depictions, like early depictions of not human beings, of other things, and they used to call them gods or a visitor, but they're all star people.
This is true.
Everything's from the stars.
There are art renditions from ancient societies of stuff that looks a little too alien to be humanoid.
And they're all
maybe
similar.
humanoid, but yeah.
if you put them all next to each other,
Maybe
they're all
Dude
similar.
can put up a few pictures here so we can compare.
But that whole idea of like, I'm going, okay, yeah, that happened, and I'm if I'm going to give like one specific theory that I'm more pulled toward or I gravitate towards is the zoo theory. Are you aware of the zoo theory?
I don't recall. Please
So
explain it.
the idea of the zoo theory is the fact that, like human beings going literally into a zoo to visit different animals, that aliens actually come for different purposes to visit our planet, amongst others, to observe. And their point is not to
Study
make
us or
so
throw
if you're-
peanuts at us.
Exactly, pretty much, right? So if you're going into a zoo, you're not going to jump into the pit with the tigers. You're going to observe them from afar, and you're not going to get involved in what's going
Now,
on.
do they go to the gift shop after?
Of course, the gift shop must, and that's on the dark side of the moon. That's where the gift shop is. So you got to stop on the dark side of the moon, pick up a couple of T-shirts, and light years go back home.
So to recap, you believe satellite drones are, and that's what most of the UFOs are.
That's what yeah.
But there's also potentially alien tourists
Yes.
visiting the planet.
Scientists, tourists,
Whatever,
all of it,
visitors.
whatever. Visitors.
Okay,
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting. I agree in part.
Okay, sure.
I think it would be incredibly egocentric of us to believe that we are the only planet in the entire universe that has life on it. To do that would be so freaking self-centered, and seriously, get over yourself.
Or it would super suck if it just happened that we're in the Goldilocks belt and we are the only existing. I don't
think-
believe that, but I'd say it would suck.
I think statistically, that would suck, but statistically, I think it's so improbable that we're the only ones in the billions.
Yeah, just
and
the sheer amount.
billions
Mathematically, it's ridiculous.
and billions of planets out there. Granted, a lot of planets cannot support life, but just to say that the Earth is the only one, that's ridiculous. So is there alien life out there in the universe? Absolutely, there has to be something somewhere. Now, whether they've come here is an entirely different story. Life out there in the vast universe, yes. To have the technology to come here is a vastly different thing. Also, the interest to come here. Are we even worth looking at right now?
Hell yeah, we're interested.
You think we're interesting? You think
about it,
Maybe if you look at us like some kind of reality TV show, we're like, oh my god,
for
this is
sure.
crap.
If you're looking just at our solar system,
Maybe,
the
but
blue planet sticks out big time.
maybe. Well,
You know,
third rock from the sun.
rock
right?
from the sun.
Third rock from the sun.
Third rock from the sun.
So-
So there's a red planet. Pff, boo. Why are we even
I-
going? Right? It's red. Who
Now-
cares?
now we
but
do
the
know-
blue planet, that's where we're going. That's your new destination. That's where you're sending your postcards from.
Excuse me, that was an alien burp.
Jeez. What would I normally say at this point?
You were all brought up.
Too bad you
No,
weren't.
yeah.
No, that was
Too bad
well
you
brought
weren't,
up. Too bad you weren't.
Anyway, back to the aliens.
Yeah.
Now, just on
He's
this
communicating
planet.
with aliens, by the way, when he does that.
That's right. It's a secret code language.
Burpinese.
Now it won't come out. Okay.
Burpinese. That was vomities.
So, yeah, I've lost my train of thought. Okay, so just in the last 200 years or so,
Yeah.
technology on this planet has grown at an exponential rate. It's literally like we went from like the Industrial Revolution to. So who knows how far we can go? So people who argue that the technology to travel interstellar is not yet perfected. Well, it's not yet perfected now, but we already have projections. Theoretically, warp space is warp travel, like Star Trek, is possible, and all these other things. So who knows what other life forms have evolved, especially if they've been at it for thousands of more years.
I was going to
than we
say,
have.
imagine if they're just a couple of thousand years ahead of us.
I don't
From
know.
a technology
So,
point, holy Jesus. man.
We don't know, because until technology is invented, we don't know. So it's theoretically possible that some could come and see us. But I'm actually reminded of, at the same time, of do you remember the cartoon strip Calvin and Hobbes?
Yes. Fondly, I love Calvin and Hobbes.
Well, because Calvin and Hobbes, while he was such a little bugger of a kid, at the same time he was surprisingly profound sometimes. And I remember once where, I'm going to paraphrase here because I can't give the exact quote, but he said something along the lines of, sometimes I think the surest sign that there's intelligent life out there is that none of them have tried to contact us.
Fair
Because let's face it,
Oh no, they're standing off.
this
Whatever
planet
aliens are visiting,
is right
they're
now,
standing off.
it's excuse the language, but this planet is a shit show right now.
Grab your popcorn.
It is a complete
Today,
show.
show.
And so, are they observing from afar? Maybe. Would they actually want to come here?
I'm thinking they're in their ride and they're checking it out and going, see kids?
Maybe.
This is the blue planet we were talking
This
about.
is what I'm warning you about. Go to school or you'll end up like Earth.
Can we go down? No, you don't want to go down there. We're going to watch it from afar.
We're going
If
to
they
stay on the
haven't-
highway. We're not going to take that exit. No.
We're not going into that planet.
So-
that planet's on the bad side of the universe. We're not going to touch that planet.
So-
We're going to watch.
Personally, whether there's an actual been visitation or studying here, I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of rumors. There's
Is it
a lot
because
of
it's too
signs.
much? To
I think
like
I don't think it's too
the
much.
idea of it is just so mind blowing because we've been dealing with the possible alien, visitation, whatever it is.
I don't think it's too much. You know what I think it is? I think it's just, if it's going to happen, just damn it, happen already, okay?
They can't. They're visiting.
Why not?
They're behind the fence. They can't jump over the fence.
But
They're
see,
not
when you're
allowed
in the
to
zoo,
go.
the animals are still aware that people are watching them.
Yeah, but we're aware too, man. Thousands of people, like every week, are saying.
None of them credible. They're all named Bubba Joe,
No.
Billy, John.
No.
From,
So you're telling me every freaking, every aviator, every person that's in the military that has these things, and we're talking about even the Tic Tac situation, the
Give
photos
us
I've taken.
a legitimate, credible, verified.
They don't want to. These people don't. These aliens don't want
so
to
that's
show
the thing.
themselves.
Is at one point it's like, well,
We would lose our minds. As
Would we
the
really?
Human populace would lose.
Would we
their
really?
Mind.
We are already so ingrained.
Or we would just selfie with them.
We would. We are so ingrained in believing already that there's other stuff out there. Our pop culture revolves around so much alien stuff and whatnot. I think if they actually, I think the only people who would flip out would be fundamental, hardcore conservative people who are like, no, because this is against the Bible or something like that. But I think the rest of the world would be like, finally. And I think it would actually unite us. You know why? Because if there's life out there, then all of a sudden we're not different nations. We're one planet.
Oh, who gave that speech?
Me.
Not now.
I just gave it now.
No, there was some.
It was all me.
There was no. It's not.
We
you.
are
It's
not different
even you. It's
nations.
not
We
even you.
become one human race, one
Yeah.
planet. And I think it would actually be unifying if it was true. And yet there is still no evidence, hard, undeniable evidence. There's speculation. There's little tidbits of this. It's like, oh, there's a sighting, but it can kind of be me. It's up in the air. Just give it to me straight. Yes or no. If it's a yes, awesome. If it's a no, I hope it happens someday because I'm sure they're out there somewhere. Did they come here yet? I don't
Imagine
know
how
yet.
much it would suck if they actually do show up and we're so complacent about it that we're like, see, I knew it.
You know
Why-
what? That would probably happen, but
Probably
I don't
what's
think
gonna
it would suck.
happen.
I think it's just people. A lot of people going.
Really? So
They'd be
where
patting
do you guys
themselves on the
come
back.
from?
They'd be like, "Yeah, I knew it. See."
Told you.
But
Right?
but I want closure.
That might,
I want closure. It would unify us or divide. But just give me a straight answer.
So it's time.
It's time. Aliens,
these
if you're watching
signals-
this,
these signals are
if
going
one of
out.
our subscribers is
It's
actually
time.
from another planet,
It's time.
step forward. You can be a guest on
Yeah.
our show.
Well,
reveal yourself
you know
to
what?
the world,
Our
and
whiskey?
we will unify the universe.
Tom Green, sorry, you've been bumped. We're inviting the aliens to
Tom,
come in.
You're still.
Oh, Tom and the aliens
What
on
if,
the show.
What if Tom is an alien?
Oh, Tom, can you chime in? You want to come over and
That
tell
would
us if you're
explain
an
a
alien or
lot.
not? Ooh,
His
yeah.
quirky sense of humor,
Maybe he is an alien.
maybe.
It's
But
like
we
the Men
love
in Black.
aliens.
Oh, remember the Men in Black when they had all these different? They had Vanilla Ice. They had Michael Jackson. they had all
Yeah.
these
Tom
different-
Green.
And then they were all actual aliens. See, maybe. So, anyways, that's what it is. That's the crappy wool question. That's where I stand on it. That's where you stand on it. So, cheers to you. Chime in.
Nanu.
right? So what can they do if they want to tell us what they think?
Tell us what you think. Like, share, subscribe, give us your comments. Do you believe in aliens? What do they look like? Oh,
Remember, if you subscribe, you can make comments and you can also share as well.
there you go.
And we're still commercial free right now, but it might not last very long. So continue enjoying and remember to share. Cheers. See you next time.